सतनाम वाहे गुरु। सतनाम वाहे गुरु। सतनाम वाहे गुरु। सतनाम वाहे गुरु।
welcome everyone to Satsang here at Montesaja. Very big welcome. And welcome to all who are joining us via broadcasting for today's Satsang. Big welcome for you. Okay. That's good. Okay, you come.
Namaste, MOOJI.
Namaste.
It's nice to see you.
Good, good. Same.
I'm coming to you with a question to help me, perhaps just tell me what you see from where you, or how you experience me.
How I experience you.
Yeah, trying to sound too spiritual. My visa is ending, and I don't want to get into all the details, but if I wait I have 2 or 3 weeks where I can stay here, and then I would have to wait 3 months to come back. Or if I leave very soon, in a few days, maybe I can come back in a month. And so those are just some logistics, but more it's about, I really don't know where I would go. And I'm also wondering if I should come back, because part of my fear, I don't feel, thankfully, after Zimar was so beautiful, so the flowers finally started to break through the ground for me, and I felt the sunlight on my soul, and it was so beautiful, and I'm so grateful I had that. And since then I've felt this less of an attachment to be here. Like before it was, if I leave the Guru's feet, I'll go back to the crack house, I'm gonna, and so now I feel more in God's hand, that either way. But I also have this fear that the mind is saying, you're comfortable now, things are okay, you go back. And so I ask you, maybe even for the next month or 2 months, where maybe I would go. And then also if you could comment on how one searches in their heart to know whether to stay or to go. And then finally, just you seeing me, the flower that I am right now, breaking through the ground. Do you feel it is best for me to, at least temporarily, geographically drift away, or do you think it is really best for me to stay with the community here and keep going?
Many times in life, not only amongst people who are not following any spiritual path or discipline, but for all human beings, we must taste some periods when you don't know what to do at all. You don't know what the next step is, where you're going. For some people, even the whole idea of a future is very, very open thing. And if we have been brought up with the feeling that we should know at least the next step, and if there isn't one, we invent one. Just because the idea of being without one seems so unbearable. If you've been brought up like that, it will feel like, what am I going to do? I don't know what is going to happen next. Truth is, nobody knows what is going to happen next. Nobody has ever known what is going to happen next. You see, what we feel is that we're comfortable that based upon things happening before, it's quite likely that they probably go towards this direction, and something feels comfortable with that. There are people there are beings who don't rely on this type of comfort or sense of security. Their security is in the unknown. Their security is in the unknown. They're totally comfortable with not knowing. In fact, even the sense of knowing creates a kind of restriction for them. And the sense of not knowing, of the unknown, is totally open. Such beings tend not to have rigid ideas about life, about what they want to do and where they want to go. And who are they? Normally, those people who have found themselves, who are very comfortable, very deeply content with their life. I'm not talking about snug, you understand? Snug means, oh, I'm so comfortable. Not like that. But irrespective of what the life might taste like, they accept it, that this is like this for the moment. And they also know that no situation that you experience is what it is. Your moods change the way things look. Also, someone also talking about it and your mind opening changes the way things appear to you. So it is such an open world like that. Can we be comfortable with that? You say, now in these past days in Zimar retreat, the flower of your being is pushed through the ground and is opening up. You see? But flowers are quite delicate things, so we need to take care of them. You see? Otherwise, there are things waiting to eat them up. You see? It can feel like that. But then you must also remember that that which causes the flower to open up is going to remain with it. It's going to remain with it. It's not going to leave it only just for a few days in the ground. It blooms fully. And it's better you are a tree than a flower. You see?
I want to be
Flower
a
has
tree.
its beauty and we enjoy it, you know. But a tree grows and bears flowers and fruit and gives shade also. Your being can be like this, like a mighty tree, growing and giving shade also to those pilgrims, you know, and giving fruit to people who are hungry, giving flowers to the poets and the artists. Everybody gets fed by that tree.
I want to be a tree.
You want to be a tree?
Tree. Flower
like-
sounded good when I said it, but now that you mention it,
Yeah.
tree sounds really good.
And that's how we grow also. The more you open your ideas, the more it feels, oh, there's more volume to your life, there's more space. Your whole being feels open and panoramic. And then you think, well, flowers are nice, but you see, I want to be tree. Then later, oh, I want to be the sky. The sky. Then I want to be space, unending space. Can anything come close to describing your true self? Can anything come close to actually catching what is really here? Can anything come close to describing or catching what is really here? Our old species, clever as we are unacquainted with our inmost being. No descriptions can conquer this, can encompass the self. The outer world we can try to conquer, but the inner world, there is no end. There is no end. There is no time. Out there, time. In here, timeless. Satsang is the door to introduce you to your timelessness. And when? Today. Every day. Every day is like this. So what's actually happening is you are flowering in your timelessness. This is what is happening. You're flowering in your timelessness. You're becoming less an object, in fact. This is why I say, not a flower, not even a tree, not even the sky, not even space. They're all limitations. Something where all of these come from. Even space itself comes also from there. And on top of that, to show you that I'm not giving you poetry, we introduce you to that. The first introduction begins really in satsang. It has happened for you already. Something continues unfolding or falling away. Your boundaries, your limitations, they keep falling away, falling away, falling away. And you're left as what? If everything you know, everything you imagine, everything you perceive, they come and go in front of something which does not come and go. I don't even want to call it something, because it itself is not an object. Could this be what we are searching for? Could this be what draws beings like yourself to a place like this? What draws people to a place like this? On a Sunday, beautiful afternoon, when so many things you can be doing, why you come to some place like this? For most people, or at least for many, everything in the world, they have a sense of it. You've tasted. If not that, something close to that. Relationships, beautiful houses, beautiful holidays, beautiful cars, money, bit of fame, bit of everything. We taste a little bit. And you know there's nothing eternal about any of this. And for mostly, it is fine. They come and go. We have to live with it. Who can change that? Anyway, nobody can change it. There must be something indefinable, unconquerable. So you may say, yes, you must have sensed it, because you say, yes, it is opening. And you know when something is opening for you. When this is opening, this consciousness flower or consciousness tree, whichever image suits you at the time, is opening, what it means that the old regime of thinking is slipping away. Something much more fresh is taking place, like a peeling away of layers of dead skin or limitations are being peeled aside. And it is said, like the onion, you keep peeling away every layer, every layer. Then you come to the second to last layer go. Then the last layer go. And then what is there? When the last layer of onion is taken away, what we find?
I feel surprisingly open. I just,
Open
in these days, I don't know where I'll be in 5 days, and I am, it feels good.
It's good.
Feels very good.
It's very good. It's very good.
And I thought maybe I go to Africa, maybe I go to Jamaica, maybe I don't know, and leaving that space for God to book my ticket. And he's a better travel agent than I am.
Best secretary.
Yes. And so there is an openness of whatever grace drops in front of me. It's like a geographical Christmas. I don't know what'll be under the tree. It's kind of, it does feel open, and I'm sort of letting grace show up, which I could not have done 2 months ago. I would have, yes. And
this is good.
Yes.
This is very good. There are many people who every moment is like that. Every moment is like that. They're not even thinking about moments. They just don't think about time at all. So like tomorrow, what am I going to do? That even doesn't enter consciousness. So no fear. When you think too much, fear will come. If you don't think, let's see if fear will come. If you don't think. It seems unfair to say something like this because everybody has to think, no? Yes, practical thinking is fine. Practical thinking is fine. It doesn't leave any smell, no psychological smell. But thinking about myself, what I should do, and where am I going to go in life, this is really wasteful, a waste of space. Particularly, that will not happen much for those who are in search of truth or freedom or a true discovery of self. They should not be indulging in such kind of thoughts. So, unknown. Yeah. You have 4 days to the unknown. Okay? Actually, every moment you're in the unknown. Every moment. But because the mind says 4 days, have to leave, then have to leave becomes the unknown. So 4 days, countdown has started. The clock is ticking away. Yeah. The clock has always been ticking, but especially now we notice it. Then 3 days, 2 days, and 1 day to the unknown. Then the day of the unknown. When will you know? Somehow as you're walking, one step at a time move. When you have to move one step at a time, your whole being is opened up, very sensitive. And you pay attention, one breath at a time you take. This conscious breath is very beautiful. Very beautiful breath.
I think the concern is I'm okay with the not knowing. That almost feels thrilling. It's the awareness that whatever makes the decision may not have the best view. And so I have the
Why
other part.
decision? Why decision? There's not so many decisions in life to make. Decisions also is just bad practice. We just get used to, some people are addicted to making decisions. Even if there's not one to make, they'll make one, they'll find one. It's true, you know. There's some people, so many things to decide. Some people making many, many decisions. And others are like, no, occasionally it appears like something needs to be decided. And even then, if you trust, because you know that moment must come and must go, and something must happen in that moment, or not happen, but the moment will pass. The appointment will pass. You see? And something trusts that. Something trusts that, you see. You say, maybe, I don't know if the one who makes the decision will be the right one, and the right decision will be made. You have to say, what the heck was happening? If the wrong decision is made, but the right attitude is here, it will turn out good.
Oh, that's relief.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting that.
Because in life,
Yes.
actually, nothing ultimately is wrong. Sometimes we say, yes, you're going to the north, and then suddenly no, I think I'll go west. Or you got on the wrong train and said, no, we're going to the west. No, I want to go to the north. Then you go to the west and you feel, that was nice. You met someone nice on the train. They introduce you to a nice place to stay. And it turns out that you meet an old friend you haven't seen for a long time. You think, wow, it was great to end up in the west. Or you end up in the west with nothing. So, oh my God, this is the worst thing that could happen. And give it a little time, turns out to be a very good thing that happened for you. Nothing can go wrong. The wrong happens here, not out there. The wrong happens here. With feeling, I don't want this. This is not what I was aiming for. This is not what I had in mind. This is not what I planned. This is not what I anticipated. This is not what I was promised. This kind of stuff. That's where the wrong go. But in the life, if you pay attention, things turn around and think, oh my God, if this hadn't happened, then none of this would happen. So relax a little bit about it. Because even your wrong decision is life's right move. You can only be personally wrong. You cannot be impersonally wrong. And the person is generally mostly wrong. We are far too immature by personal human standards to catch up with life, which is so innocent, so spontaneous. Which mind, which is, practiced on really thinking a lot, can compete with a life which is just spontaneously unfolding? It cannot catch up with it. It is always late. The planning mind is always late. Or it will get some fruits that it will like, but it will not be as sweet as the fruits that life ripens by itself. You may not accept that. You will one day accept it. See it. You think you make a decision, but what happens is that that movement already started way down here, and it starts to rise. It's coming in, and then it touches the conscious mind, and you say, I think I'll go here. But the movement for there started way over here, but you could not see it. Everything is preparing in life, not just in this body, but in the other bodies that are destined to interact with this body. All of that is moving together. But in your conscious mind, you will not know it. When it reaches the conscious mind, then you think, that was my decision. No one can do anything contrary to the will of God.
One final question, just because my heart wants to ask it, and if you say you already answered the question, this is more, and if you don't want to answer, I accept that. Which is that just, and if you don't, well, you know what you're doing. I don't need to tell you how to do your job.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I guess yes, and just if you've seen. Just from where you are seeing me, you've seen me now for 2 months. I'm just asking the best word I can say is your opinion. Would you say, I think it's best, just comment on me. I know you're commenting on me specifically, but just, what do you think? Does it feel... Give me a look, just.
What I can say is, in fairness, from the time I met you until now, there has been some change which I feel is very beautiful. Some softening, some more peacefulness has come. This I can say. Generally, I don't notice your visibility. More, I notice your invisibility. If you can follow that. I notice when there's less of you. Less of you personally. Then I see more of you in the true light. This is beautiful. But if you ask a general question, what I see when I look at you, I know I'm seeing only the self. I see only the self. When I listen, sometimes I seem to be hearing something that's behaving that is not the self. Something called person. So, with personal views and personal dreams and personal whatever. But what I see, and by see I don't mean only with my eyes, I mean with all of my being, is there is the self in its flow as life and diversity, in its expression as life and diversity, and just you can put it like dancing, but we can be more accurate in saying evolving somehow, in a state of evolving, in the dynamic way, growing back towards itself. But along the way, some are growing like this, some are growing like this. You see, some growing like we have eucalyptus trees here. They grow like this, and some grow like this, and then go down again and come back up. And they grow like that. But all of it is the dance of consciousness. You see, and I like to see them free. Trees going free. I am not really so much interested in bonsai. Understand? So constant, too much control. Tight little bonsai. No fruit. No shelter. You know, live on a shelf or something. No, I like to see you in the open terrain, full wind, full sun, full power, full rain, full joy, full fruit, full season, full.
What brought this on was that story you told of the man who said, "I'm answering from my heart," and you know, you shared that in some ways maybe his heart was not as pure, or maybe perhaps confused about what the heart was. And there's work that I want to do in the world, to whether I'm a flower or a bush. I already am doing things to provide shade for people, and it calls to me, and I put that on hold joyfully to come here. But my heart really wants to go and be of service and be in my purpose, and it does feel heart and not ego. And then I have this fear of, well, is that my heart, or do I just want to know?
Put the main focus on completing your sadhana. In the meantime, with your right hand and left hand, do what comes that life brings to interact in a compassionate way with life, yes, but don't let the focus slip from you. Because very often there are people in the world that want to help. It seems a beautiful gesture, but sometimes they just interfere with things which are kind of unfolding in ways that they're not able to comprehend. Like this as well too. That's not to say don't. Everything goes into the big soup pot, you see. So, but I would say concentrate on completing. Be very complete if you can, rather than be half-cooked, you see. Put energy on really clarifying inside your being. This would also help any outer expression you're making. You see, it will be more properly informed, more supported, and not coming from human projections, from the human concept of helping. There's a lot of surprises on the way when we talk like this, because your inner work is going to transform the way you look at things also. It's not that you're doing your inner work while the world waits for the investment of your actions. No, because your inner work changes the way you perceive the seemingly outer world. Each one is seeing a different world, depending upon our conditioning, our belief systems, and also who we take ourselves to be, shape the world and the life you perceive and experience tremendously. What you bring to life is your set of concepts and your deep belief and conditioning and identity. That is what will shape, your actions and the effectiveness of your actions in the world. In fact, our actions in the world is not so much to help the world actually, but to train your being. This is very, very, very subtle subject. Very few human beings understand. Very few human beings understand what the world is about. No one can save the world. There's one earth, but there are billions of worlds. In each body, a different movie of the world is playing, shaped by conditioning and belief and habit and identity and culture. You see, shapes the world you see. You see, your heroes are someone else's villains. Your heaven is someone else's hell. At the personal level, we cannot live in the same world. We are just barely coping. The human thing by itself does not work actually. It works only by grace. Only when the human organism, the human being, combines itself with grace and with trust and with inner understanding, then life begins to flourish in a more beautiful way. Not by human activities only. So let both happen. Let the world be and you also grow internally. If you grow internally, understand internally, then your external expressions, so to speak, internal, external, so on, they will be more like one. They will have some effect because it is not the gesture only of a person, but of presence, of being. So existence is doing it, not the person is doing it only. The person is only personal in its own mind. Apart from its own mind, it is also an action of consciousness. There's only consciousness functioning. The person is only a mask that consciousness wears for a short time, perhaps the duration of one lifetime. It wears a certain mask, an organic mask that keeps changing.
So, no matter what, thank you for all of this, and I do feel so open because I know that wherever I go, you'll be in my heart.
Yes.
I know this. So I'm not going.
Wherever you go, outwardly, keep your head in your heart. Everything will be fine. Keep your mind inside your heart. Everything is fine. You don't have to pay attention to 100 things. Just keep your mind inside your heart. Everything will be fine.
In case the form doesn't come back, can I have one last hug? Okay.
want to share some my seeing during my inquiry.
Okay.
I don't know they are truthful or not, so I'd like you to confirm. I don't want the wrong idea. I don't want to believe the wrong idea. I got a little bit cold suddenly.
You got a little cold.
I catch a cold.
Oh, cold.
And I couldn't sleep in the night, so I start getting up to do inquiry. And I saw a lot of thoughts appear and disappear. And
you saw a lot of what?
Thought.
Okay.
Appear and disappear, and it feels like they in different location in front of me, different thought, different location. I can see the emotion in different location, and they appears, and I see. Oh, suddenly I just can't remember.
But when you see the emotions, you see them up here or you see them in your body?
I see somewhere, some here, some there, and very subtle. And I see the thoughts, some thoughts just arise like suddenly, and some thoughts arise like some power. And the thoughts arrive like power, it feels more truthful, this type of thought.
Okay. Such as?
I don't remember. Yeah. And I see this unchanging also inside me, and I feel the deep peace there as well. And I saw the love for you, and this love is not personal. It's nothing personal, and it's expanding. And recently, when I see you, I got this headache. Every time I see you, and just some tension here, especially on my in my center eyebrow. I feel like this tension just here. There's something else I can't remember. It's not here this moment. I don't know this a true.
What is here this moment? Because I like when I hear like this. You may hear, I can't remember. Yesterday, this, I can't remember. So for me, it's good. Can't remember, actually. It's a very good thing that we forget. To forget is very healthy for most things. Suppose everything you saw you had to remember. Everything, like your mind take a picture and you have to save. It's inside everything you do, everything. So life also helps you to forget things, because if you don't forget things, your mind will always be full. And that's torture, if your mind is full. So, okay, everything forget. What is here now? That is not yesterday.
It's the present.
Do you say the present or the presence? Present means?
It's just awareness now.
Awareness. This is presence, yes. This is presence, not present.
Presence.
I'll tell you why I say this, because we've just been talking about time. Yesterday, last night, I was thinking, inquiring, because you had a cold, no? So this, and you couldn't sleep, so you inquire. Good cold. You use it for inquiring, but you can't remember. I saw this, okay, and but actually, there's a struggle to remember. Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in that moment, everything's so clear. But next day, just I do try to do the same things. Everything's fuzzy. I know there's some moment.
Can I tell you something?
Yes.
But you try to do things next day, but everything is fuzzy. But if you recognize you're seeing fuzziness, that's also quite clear. Not the fuzziness is clear. The perceiving of fuzziness is clear.
Yes, that was very clear.
Yeah.
And there's some moment there's no thought at all, and then I reached a state which it's like it's like my brain released some kind of chemical, and this chemical just suddenly just all over me.
As what?
Just
Something good or not good?
Feels like maybe when I was young, my mom rocked me in the bed, something like that. That's kind of a feeling.
Okay, so just unexpected, one shower of
Yes.
different feelings and
Yes.
things just come,
Yes.
which is also seen.
Yes.
Yeah. If you don't get entangled in them, just you're seeing only. If you don't get entangled, then you'll still be aware that there's you and the things you're seeing. If you start to identify with them, then you lose your way and you feel completely confused.
I see everything. Yes. Everything arises in me. I see them.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know this is true or I'll just
It is very good. You see everything. In fact, you see everything.
yes.
Always, whatever is coming up, you're seeing it.
Yes.
But what tends to happen is that we also identify with some things we see.
Yes.
When
That's
you
also
identify, then it becomes personal.
happened. Yes.
And then your space gets smaller because you feel entangled with the things. If you can observe without identifying, just observe, you'll find that there are some thoughts, some feelings that feel more magnetic. They pull you more strong, pull something. But if you keep just observing also the pull, after a while, something is okay.
I drop them immediately. When I see them, I just drop them.
Very
without any
good.
thought. Yeah.
And what remain when you keep doing that?
I feel I go back to my heart.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you go back or you are already in your heart?
It's attention drift away. I'm
Yes.
already in my heart.
Yes, this is true. You see, because it's just habit of thinking. We say, then when I ask you what is left, if you don't identify, you're only observing. Then what is left? And you say, I go back to my heart, which is, oh, it's okay, it's okay. But actually, your heart is not any distance from you. So there's no back to go back to. You are right here. You and your heart do the same thing. You and your heart, the same thing. So there's no going back to. You are here. You are the heart. It's not just words and being clever. They mean something. Here, sometimes the words, little thing, trick you, and you miss everything just through a misunderstanding. You don't have to be like that with everything, but with this thing, you need to be very clear. I need to be very clear with you that you are already the heart looking at what was being lived as a person, personal memory, personal this, thoughts, all these things coming, and you say, I'm looking, but as they come, I drop them, meaning I don't touch them. I just look. I don't combine myself with what I see. Some people feel they cannot look without identifying, without combining. But that is not true. Or with a little practice, you find you can. And this is perhaps one of the most important things you are going to discover if you can observe without identifying. In a very short space of time, you will feel an immensity of being. Not tight, not trapped, not claustrophobia, free like space.
So I just keep quiet. Just
Yes, keep quiet means not talking, not talking, because sometimes you have to talk. Keep quiet means you can perceive, but don't identify. senses are functioning, but don't combine yourself. Don't say, yeah, I really like this and I really want that and I hate when this happens, and don't pick up the mind like that. Just look. If you do it for a little while, your looking becomes very silent, very quiet, and very joyful feeling just in looking. Just in looking. Very good, very good. I want to tell you a story about this also. In the days of Gautama Buddha, this is what happened. There used to be some schools of thought where they used to debate a lot. They used to come together and they would challenge each other in spiritual debates and other kind of philosophical debates. And some people, they had a following, and they will go and challenge you if you have a following. And then you will debate together. You have like a competition, and you will argue. The leader will argue with that leader. And if I win all of your followers and you must join my thing. So some of these people had a big group, because they had a very good debater, going around the country challenging with these conversations, philosophy and these things, spirituality, philosophy. And it says that one of these big leaders now, he came to Gautama, the Buddha, and challenged the Buddha. You have big following, many people are following you. I want to have a contest with you. But if I win all of your followers, and you must become my follower. But if you win all my followers, including myself, we will join you and we will follow you. So everybody is very curious. What's going to happen? Because we believe very strongly in the Buddha, but this man is very powerful. What's going to happen? So the Buddha listened and he said to this man, okay, have you ever experienced your true self by winning any debate? He said, no, I have not experienced my true self. So the Buddha said to him, okay, I'll tell you what, you come and spend 1 year with me, because it's very important to win all my followers, and like this, or I win all your followers. Okay, you come and spend 1 year with me. After this 1 year, you can challenge me, and then you will win. If you win all of my followers, including the new ones that will come to me this year. Okay? But you come to be with me for 1 year. But for this 1 year you're with me, you must not talk. Don't ask me any question, okay? Don't talk to any of my devotees. Just come and sit down with me. Just sit. Don't speak. So I was thinking, Father, it's a strange thing you ask. But I'm up for it. So 1 year he spent with the Buddha. He did not speak. Did not have any discussion. His mind became very quiet. When the year was finished, the Buddha summoned him and said, okay, fine. Today we will meet and we will discuss. The man says, you're a trickster. You are a very big trickster, he says, you see. Huh? Because you gave me this condition, I must not speak for one year. But I could think. But with thinking and not speaking, my mind became quiet. It didn't want to think. I became quiet and more quiet and more quiet. And all my desires went. Past went, future went, identity went, following went, philosophy went, everything went. Everything became silent. You see? Everything becomes silent. And now, I don't care to debate about anything at all. So, I am going to be your devotee. And so is all of my followers have to be your devotee. He said, because you beat me without words. You destroyed me with your silence. Who could compete with you? So this is the power of silence, you see. You may say, beautiful story, but that's not useful for practical life. This is 2015 now. 2,500 years, it's 2,600 years. Is Buddha's example useful today? Yes, yes. And there's another silence. The silence where you can speak, you can move, you can do things. You have the use of your, intellectual faculties and so on. But still inwardly, your mind is in total serenity. That state is called sahaja, actually. Sahaja samadhi. It means to be in the natural state while moving in life in a natural way. Sahaja samadhi is very suitable for the modern man also, who has so many things to do. He has to find this silence which cannot be kept by effort. It must be his natural silence. He must find his natural peace without being a peacekeeper. How is he going to do this? Because everything else he has to maintain. But your true self, you cannot maintain. In fact, you cannot be your true self and your false self. The incomplete sense of self is journeying, looking for the complete self, but it will never reach. Before it reaches, it will burn up, it will disappear. Didn't they say when Icarus was flying towards the sun? Did he get to the sun? Before he reached to the sun, combust into pure fire. But this disappearance is not so dramatic. While you are searching, as you find, you disappear, and only your finding is left. You as person disappear, and you as the real self remain. But you will not notice. Does it sound scary? Okay.
Namaste, MOOJI.
Hello, darling. Down a bit.
I have a question.
Yes.
When I follow your pointings and I experience self, experience my being, then, just this voice and ask, like, who is there's a there's a collection of things, sensations and a state that can be seen. So then I see it, something seeing it, and then it's but what is seeing that? And then it's something comes like something's backing up, kind of like.
But if something is backing out from the question, what is seen? Because you say in your investigations, everything is there. All these thoughts are there. And then the question is put, who is seeing all of this? And then you say something begins to backing away. But this which is backing away is also seen.
Yeah.
Okay.
What
like weaknesses?
Feeling something, feeling annoying, I don't know, feeling like that. And it gets bigger as it backs up.
Listen, don't forget yourself. You are observing, after this question, where am I? Now, normally, mind is looking for an answer. It's looking to find something, as it does usually. If you're looking for your car keys, you look everywhere, then you see, here it is. You can find it objectively. If you're looking for your shoes, you go out there, all these shoes, you find something tangible. If you're looking for yourself, you're looking, will you find something? You follow or not? Yeah, if you're looking for something that is an object, you look and you find the object or you don't find it. But still, whatever you say, I found it or I didn't find it. Because you have the evidence of your finding and the evidence of your non-finding. If you're looking for yourself, I'm getting closer. Yes, the layers are peeling, layers are peeling, layers are peeling. Last layer is peeling. Oh, what is inside the onion? Nothing. Okay, nothing. But you are also seeing this nothing, isn't it? If you are peeling an onion and you are the onion, not peeling out there, you're peeling here. And then finally, what is left there? The hands also vanish. Vanish. Also, the person is peeled also. So inside is what then? When you say peel onion, you can see onion peel, peel, peel. How many layers? Peel, 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 peel. And then final little thing you peel. And inside, nothing. Usually there's a seed, no? Usually a seed. And not even seed. Nothing. What did you find? Nothing. So nothing is left. And you are left seeing nothing is left. Okay? But what about when you are peeling you? Layer of imagination, layer of what you may call intellect, layer of memory, layer of identity, layer of I am the body. All this is being peeled. So final, what's the final thing? The ant. Hands disappear. Eyes disappear. Nose, throat, heart, lung, everything, toenails, hair. Okay. So, what is left? And who is there to witness it?
I know it's space, but
How you know it's space? How you know it's a space? Even intellect is peeled, also throughout. Can there be something more important than the intellect that discerns things? because something can say, let's give an example. You know, if I say something like, there's a red car in the car park and it's on fire, whose car is it? Or I say, there's a car parked blocking the road, whose car is, could you move it? They say, it's my car. You will not say it's me. I am here, I'm not in the car park. Okay? So you say, I'll move it. So it's my car, it means it belongs to me. It's not what I am. I can get another car, get a blue car. Okay? So the car is not what I am. My car, not me. You can also say, my body is so tired today. The body is so tired, feels so heavy. My body, not me. My body. You go to the doctors, you say, doctor, my earring is in this ear is blocked, and in this one it's also blocked, but not so bad. This one feels like it's 90% blocked. This one seems like 30% blocked. My hearing, not me. Something is observing hearing, not me, the hearing. You say also, my memory used to be much better. I could see all of you. You tell me your name, John, Susan, blah, blah, blah. I remember everything. My memory was really good. But now, my memory is only about 40%. So something observes memory that is not as good as it used to be. You are not memory. Can memory remember itself? To whom does memory report? So something says, my memory is not as good. My sight is not as good. Also, my powers of discerning, my intellect was much more sharp before. I used to be able to discern things so quick. Now, not so good. So must be something apart from intellect that is able to observe even intellect, to say the intellectual power is not so good. What can it be? My intellect, I was very strong. My belief, I used to be Orthodox Christian. Now I am Muslim. My belief can change, not me. My belief. I have a big ego. Oh, I have a small ego. Ego, I have, not me. Who is me? Like this. Oh, my husband's left me. My life is over. My life. My life. That life, not me. I had an operation and I died actually and came back. My life was gone actually. And then somehow I was resuscitated, or I met some heavenly being that told me, it's not your turn, go back. So I got my life back. My life, not me. Who am I? Who is saying these things? So if you leave all these things aside, my house, my family, my senses, my ego, my memory, my intellect, my belief, my trust aside, what is left? When there is no my something, this my becomes me or I. What is I? Unassociated, what is I? Can it be seen? And yet, can it be denied? Can it be seen? And yet, can it be denied? Can you say, I don't exist? Then who is the one saying, I don't exist? Who witnesses non-existence to say I doesn't exist? What, another I? So don't just think and feel and introspect and see. What will you discover? It's very important what you discover. Because what you discover will shape all your experiences. It will tell you what you're looking at and who you are, the one looking. Care to find out? So you are on the right track. You're looking, but you must complete your looking. Sometimes people come to a certain point and they begin to back away because they come to a point where they see that they have to question their existence as a person, and they're afraid that if I look, I might see something I'm not ready to see. You're not going to create, you're only going to see. And if you are going to see, it means it is already there. But maybe something doesn't want to see. And you're being encouraged. Don't be afraid. In fact, you're only afraid because we're believing the wrong thing. Now you say something now.
No, thank you.
You want to leave it like that?
All right. I'm inside.
Huh?
I went inside.
You're inside, okay, start inside. You're inside as what? What is inside? What does it look like?
Being.
Pain?
Being.
Yes, pain. She's reporting what she can see.
No, pain. Being.
Being. Oh, being is inside.
Being.
Being, yes. Tell me something about this being that is inside. Is it completely always the same? Is it changing? Is it happy?
It moves a little bit.
It moves about a little bit.
It moves a little bit.
Moves a little bit. What is watching being move a little bit? Because being is usually a sacred thing. Oh, being. Oh. And then she says, it's moving about a little bit. So what is watching being moving a little bit? Must be something that's apart from the being, watching being move about a little bit. What is it?
There's something watching.
And you, where are you? Are you the thing being watched, or are you the one watching? Or both? Don't invent.
Both. Both.
You're both. Equally strong, or one more strong than the other one?
One more, but I guess it was back and forth. One more.
Okay, the one back and forth, is that the true one? Or there's another one? There's one that is watching the one that is moving. Which one is the stable one, the true one?
there's one more steady.
Yes. Okay. What knows that?
Something knows that, but
And you're aware of it.
I don't know. Something notices that something more steady, but I don't know.
So you must be there, no? To know this inside information. Did somebody come and tell you, yes, there's something?
Yeah, there's one that knows.
Huh?
There's one that knows.
Yes. Are you different from the one that knows?
Little bit of space.
Little bit. You're the one in front.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who told you? who put you there? Why are you not the one behind the lens?
Yeah, there's one that knows that.
Yeah. Is this one different from you?
I don't know, because if I say it is me, I don't know, it just kind of feels like if I say that's me, it feels like I'm putting a
shape around it.
Yeah.
That's only because you're putting a shape around you. And that's why you can't say, I am that one. You're keeping a shape called you. Because if this one doesn't have shape, and if you don't have shape, then you are one. But if one of you have shape, then you'll not be able to admit, yes, I'm the same one. Does anybody follow what we're talking about? Oh, good. These things, when we talk about these things, you must be following internally. Then it becomes your seeing also. It is your seeing. Your seeing. Your awakening.
So what do I do with the shape? There's something with the shape, yeah. Yeah. That's the shape.
It does not have a shape, but you may feel you're holding on to a shape. You see? And shape means identity. And therefore you cannot admit I can be that. Therefore you must only be an object in the sight of that. You see? But you are determining this also. This fact did not exist before you determine it. Who sees this thing? The fact did not exist until you determine it is so. Why? Because you don't speak the truth. If the insight is clear, then the truth will be spoken. But the insight is not so clear. So right as you're looking, you may see clearly enough to say, I am that. Or, yes, that is there behind. And I'm here. Because your own self-limitations will make it sound like blasphemy to say, I am that. So go and meditate on this a little bit and you will... okay. Good, thank you.
after 3 years following you and 1 year intensively listening to you, in the Zimar retreat, I was able to listen to you. It's such a joy to be able to hear you.
Yeah.
When I don't remember exactly when, but maybe at university or at the school, one of my teacher or someone was talking about Mansour Hallaj when he said Ana al-Haq, and the story about him, why, and he has been, when he said that, and for his saying and his telling that I am God, he has been killed. And
Yeah.
and the question, I had questioned that why he said that. Because for me, God was over there and I was here. And I couldn't understand how it could be different for him that he said, I am God. And also, it was in my heart that he knew the consequence by saying that
Yes.
is the dead,
Yes.
but he couldn't stop. But nobody was around me that I can ask the question. I knew in my heart no one can answer my question. And the question forgotten. And in the retreat, someone came to the microphone and he said, MOOJI, I saw it. It is everything. It is simple. It is so subtle. But I forgot it. Can you remind me again? And I heard, I didn't think about him for many years. And I heard someone said his name and the question arise again. And you was talking about dreaming and you said everything is play of God, and
Yes.
if you can see this dream and this play of God, and I felt I'm in the space that I could see everything and this play, and I felt what Allah saw and the reason that he said, I am the self, I am the God, and just, it seems, I just saw, I just felt him and why he said that, and it's difficult to put on the word, and
Yeah.
and I felt I've been shown that why he said Ana al-Haq, and then by you I could see, I go to that point and I see the self
Yes.
out of the dream,
Yes.
and then you took me in a way that was so quick I couldn't stop the seeing. I just saw I'm out and everything was in front of me.
Yes. The one supreme being is manifest everywhere, not only on this planet, in every planet, in every space, in every atom it is there. God is not a gentleman with white beard or whatever, floating about like a cloud or something like this. According to man's limited ability to perceive God, God appears in form in order to correspond with the human intellect according to its capacity to comprehend God. And it manifests in so many different ways. And it is good that there are many religions and that there's not one religion. One religion would be suffocating. All the religions give a sense, a clue that is complete, even not really complete, but each from each you can see. If you go to the heart of each of them, you can get a clear inner understanding, a mystical understanding. But generally, none of them can encompass God. None of them. But if you see the same essence shining through every expression like this, you begin to get a glimpse of the magnificence of that which man calls God. And you'll have to see it from inside your own inner eyes to perceive. And each according to their capacity, and only he who can say, who grants to human being of certain similar tendencies, according to his own will, group them together as nations and different religious beliefs and so on, and infuse in them the faith and the grace to follow their path, which if they do with earnestness and sincerity, will bring them close, if not into his very being. And some are more accustomed, according to the capacity that God puts in them, to not only see or to perceive God as an essence of some, because even then in the highest view in man's mind, God is still perceived as an object. Even in some of the highest view of men still perceive God as an object. How can God be an object? He is the pure subject that is imbued and pervading all objects without losing any power from itself. It is everywhere in every atom. It is the life in the atom, the energy in them. In every aspect of our being, it is shining through them. It is the one single light shining through all humanity, all sentient beings. It is shining through them. But in the human being, it shines with its most amazing potential, that in this form, the consciousness can contemplate itself right back into the very essence, to the very source. So some beings, they saw, and they see this, they see it. And they see it sometimes in maybe a culture that is not used to looking in this way, in such an intimate way, in such an essential way. But still God gives the capacity. Otherwise, where could it come from if not from Him? This capacity to see. And yet, men, blind by their own ignorance, seem to possess the power to take the life of one who has seen, because of this, still by the will of the Supreme. You see, there are beings for whom, you see, you have to remember that we value and cherish highly our life in form. You see, so you say, oh, why did he die? Because of this. But such beings don't die. No. They don't die. You see, we ourselves are so clinging to the fleshly life. It feels like when it comes to an end, is that we come to an end of ourself. And indeed, we come to an end of our personal self, the personality, which in the greatness and the vastness of God's kingdom can still continue to manifest as dream and continue like our living waking state does, to continue to somehow evolve within the dream also into higher and higher and higher states. Who can fathom that? That even now our personalities are not real, but we take ourselves to be very real as personality. And the personality is always changing. So which one, if over 10 years your personality has changed with so many different sense of yourself in different expressions, which one is your true expression? None of them. You can continue making a self-portrait every month, every year, Which one of them is you? None of them is you. So, some beings sensing that they were making a declaration of the truth in an environment which was hostile to such utterances, still said it for generations yet unborn. Also for them, and also for those at the time that did not have the courage to say such things, and said it for mankind, and said it for heart, for the fact that the heart is true. They could not say it. They became the immortal ones. Otherwise, if our kingdom, if our greatness is only in flesh and blood and form, if it is only a kingdom of the body-mind, it will go, it will pass. All our yesterdays and tomorrows will pass. Find that which does not pass, which is within yourself. It is within ourselves. This is the great call, the one voice that is calling through all the different expression, all the great rivers of religion and spirituality. Is the same one voice is calling you home. And where's this home? Here. A journey outwards you can measure in miles or kilometers. But the journey within, it is distanceless and vaster than any journey. And yet it's not even a journey, because as soon as you begin to look, the clues become much more bright, much more clear, you see. And you begin to see. You said rightly that for some years you've been listening, and people have been watching and listening to YouTube and other things, and still it took a while for the words to really open up their inner meaning and for your own inner ears to hear them. Sometimes you're listening, but mostly what is taking place is misunderstanding, dressed as understanding. And after a while, it blossoms into an openness, a clarity that seems to somehow, like sometimes you could be deaf for a bit, and suddenly the ears just opens up, and everything you begin to hear clearly again. In the same way, our inner ear, the ear of perception inside, when you hear with your heart, it can open like that, and suddenly you begin to understand everything is coming, nothing is wasted. This is the mystery. It's a mystery. It can seem for a time also like our own mind somehow is preventing you from listening, from understanding. It even seems to sabotage any opportunity towards freedom. The mind seems to be there. And we don't mind so much, because on any level that we live consciousness, there's a life there. On any level that you live, even if you are in the worst prison, there is still a life you'll find in there. Whether there's the ambition, the urge to break out from the inner prison, because you can be in a prison, but inside you're free. Maybe more free than people outside walking on the street, shopping around in any place they want. You have to break free from the inner prison, the prison of conceptual limitations, of identity, of tight conditioning, and so on. That's a kind of prison also. And many beings, including yourself, must sense the tightness of that and wish to come into the open terrain of the self. At varying degrees and varying levels of urge. Some urges are very strong. Some urges are very strong. Some urges are still just mildly curious. But there are some beings who feel, I cannot go back. Sometimes the masters work is to make sure you cannot go back. He will burn your bridges behind you and lock your doors so there's no escape, so you have to go through. But some beings are so desperate that they burn their own bridges. They lock themselves to prevent there's no going back. You see? I met one young man, I didn't meet him physically, but I heard about him, and he was so determined for freedom, so determined. No? That he said, I have not been able to. Some teacher had said to him that he must lock himself up or something like that to trap the ego or something. So he physically was doing it. Young man in the United States. Anybody remember this story? He locked himself in his room. His sister called me and told him, please, MOOJI, talk with him because he's a very, very determined guy. And he said, I'm not coming out for like 3 months and I won't eat. I'm going to lock the ego in the room and bolt him in. He's not coming out until I'm free. He said like that. I said, but the ego doesn't need key. You can't lock your ego. It is okay, physically he's doing something. But I said that there are kinder ways, easier ways than that. To starve yourself, to starve your body to death and so on, there are easier ways than that. But he was very determined. And when we spoke, we came to some place where, he was softening up a little bit, and then suddenly, then his sister said that afterwards, she also shared the same urge, but not as strong as him. She also intended to follow him. But while he's in there, she will stay out to ensure everything is okay, but she's panicked a bit. Some people are very, very determined. But determination by itself is not enough, actually. You must also be open. Sometimes you can be very determined, but you're stubborn and you want things on your own terms. And life is not here to satisfy your projections like that. It doesn't award you because you're determined. In fact, there is no really you like that. It's just a consciousness with an ego. Unless that determination is shaped by grace, if it comes from the human intellect, it will not do, it will not happen. Understanding is taking place for you. Very good. Very good. Then cooperate with it. Be yes in your heart with that. You'll develop a real sensitivity now. And you'll seem to be always going to where the consciousness is happy. So much so that at a certain point, you become one. The sense of I and consciousness merge, and you become one.
I feel I'm going to something new is opening. I don't know what's that, but I feel it's not, I didn't experience this before. I feel that I don't know what is that.
You don't have to know. Let's not call anything new names now. Just be in that. You're in the power now. So be in that power and you'll continue to, to mature somehow in that, if you want to say like this.
Can I read one of his poem for you?
Okay.
It's short.
A short one? Okay,
Yeah.
good.
First I read in Persian and then in English. He said, عشق است آتشی که به یک دم جهان بسوز، که به یک دم جهان بسوخت، در قصر دل فتاد و روان جان بسوخت. عشق است آتشی که به یک دم جهان بسوخت، در قصر دل فتاد و روان شاه جان بسوخت. He said, love is the fire that can burn whole existence in a second.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. This love is the same love which is wisdom. This is not the love that we can limit merely to the human value system. This love means the unity of being. This love and truth are one. This love and wisdom are one. And this is how it happens. This spontaneous awakening happened like this. Something is looking, and then instantly somehow it is dropped through. We had an experience of a few people in Zimar, when I'm remembering now, one Indian lady was there. And also she came with a big pad of questions. I saw the questions, and she didn't finish off her first question, and straight, it didn't follow the line of her expectations. I have 4 questions to ask or whatever. But she was so open that in the first question, something connected and it was gone, everything. So there was no need to ask the second question or the third question or the 10th question. All of them evaporated in 1 second, you see. This is the thing you're talking, this love. And she said what immediately when asked, what is it like? She says, it's like trying to describe what a mango tastes like. You have to taste it. You have to taste it. Yeah. How you can describe what a mango tastes like to somebody who has who only tasted beef burgers, never tasted mango. How it tastes like, it doesn't taste like chips, it doesn't taste like something. They would not know, you have to taste. Nobody can tell you about the self, you have to taste. And then you see if you can say, I don't like this taste. Maybe you will be the first to say, actually, it's not for me. We have not heard of anybody who has complained, who has said, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, I really don't want this. I have not heard. Myself I have not heard, but maybe they have been. Thank you. Can I see you over there? Yeah.
I can only half believe the thoughts are me right now. So maybe you can just help me. Look, when you say the body can't be aware of itself and the thoughts can't be aware of themselves.
Yeah.
It's like this understanding of this here is coming in and out of identification with body and not.
There is something very subtle. Listen to this now. I said, a thought cannot think itself. And a thought is not self-employed. It doesn't work for itself. Yes. However, no, it's only when you, as consciousness itself, it is consciousness here, actually. Consciousness is conversing with consciousness, about consciousness, actually, with the notion of itself as a person, just to make it a little bit more tasty, okay? So, in order for consciousness to converse with consciousness about consciousness, which is a very delightful thing, by the way. It's the same as contemplation. When you contemplate, it's only you. When you're with someone else, it's conversation. When you're with yourself, it's contemplation. When the Sangha is understanding itself to be consciousness, though we may be hundreds, you're still with yourself. So, when consciousness identifies itself as a person, basically means I am the body. This belief, I am the body, which it needs, by the way. The body is very important to the consciousness in order for the taste of experiencing to happen. Without the body, no experiencing, or some kind of body. Without the sense of individuality also. So the consciousness puts on the garment of what it calls a person, which is a conceptual garment, shaped by the belief, I am the body. And once that belief, I am the body, becomes fixed, then that I am the body identity can begin to absorb conditioning from its environment, which it adds to itself in order to build up what's called character and a sense of a self-definition of itself. Okay, so that is a mixture of thought or concepts, you want to say, concepts and concept, and you have water there? Yeah, of concept and consciousness. Consciousness and the thought identity is acting as the seeker. Consciousness without identity doesn't act as a seeker. It acts as presence. It acts more as a witnessing capacity to observe the phenomenal world, but also the other way, to be aware of the Absolute, which is its own source. We follow this? Okay, good. So, it's the consciousness plus identity, which is shaped out of belief concepts, that is then suffering from the belief in other concepts. When you say thought, thoughts come and the thoughts trouble me, it troubles the aspect of myself shaped out of concepts, out of belief. Because consciousness is not a belief. But when consciousness identifies as a person, that mixture has the capacity to believe in some things and to get conditioned or something like that. You see? So when you say, I feel the thoughts coming and I kind of half believe them.
I have believed I am it.
You half believe that you are them. Okay. When we say a thought arise, are we talking about a word arise or a set of thoughts arise as a kind of statement? When you think, I have this thought comes to me. This thought comes to me not as a word only, but as a statement, like a sentence or something like that, isn't it? So like, you're not gonna get it, or maybe you're not mature enough, or you're not worthy, or whatever kind of thoughts come. And something half believes this. I don't know if we fully believe anything. Sometimes you highly believe it, shaped upon previous conditioning. Maybe if a thought comes and say, actually, you're not worthy to be free, and you're likely to believe that. Whereas if it came for someone else, this thought would stand no chance at all. It would not even be remembered that it occurred if you have no interest in it. So we are chiefly troubled by thoughts which we have an interest in. And by interest, I don't mean that you like them. It could be that you hate them also. You follow? Yeah? So it's these thoughts that engage your attention. You can say there are thousands, millions of thought possibilities, but only few catch you. Most thoughts you don't suffer from. Most concepts you don't suffer from them. Which are the ones you suffer from? And if you suffer, I'll give you a clue. Because you are taking them personally. Only the person suffer. If you are impersonal in your observing, you cannot suffer. It's when you take the thoughts personally, like competitively, like you're not good enough, or you are too good for this crowd. The ego can go like this. Whichever works. You are not good enough. And you are too good. You're too good for these people. You should not be sitting in a place like this. You should be at the right hand of God. Yes, I knew it. You see, depend. Whichever works in order, because any form of ego is going to block your merging into the pure self. So you are only identifying the kind of thought that creates a kind of blockage or gives trouble to you. You see? And which you does it give trouble to? The personal mode of yourself. As you become more matured in your understanding, the person is floating away and being replaced by presence. The person is floating away and being replaced by presence. I gave the example that sometimes on a sunny day, when the sun is beautifully present in the sky, you can also see the moon at the same time. But nobody pays attention to the moon when the sun is here. In the same way, when the sun of real understanding is in your heart, this moon mind, ego, nobody pays attention to it. It has no power. It's no power. It's like a dog with sore throat. Has no power. Can't bark. So what's happening now? What happened now? Where are you at?
I see, like, I create myself whatever I say as. Does that make sense?
You say you create a self.
I feel like I create myself in this moment now as what I put the attention to, or something like this. But it's somehow it's like a haze of it. But it's clear. But it's the mind cannot understand.
Why give such a strong statement? That you create yourself. Because you can talk many things. We all talk also foolishness. If you don't identify with it, it doesn't give any real trouble. It gives trouble even if you don't identify with it. The trouble it gives if you're talking rubbish, all kind of nonsense things, the trouble it gives is that it builds up a kind of static in a space which could be silent. And when you're on your own in the night, this fried eggs, basically, is still going on because you're so used to creating this type of energy in the mind. If you're quiet, this doesn't happen. So, but if you say, every time I say I create myself, you need not, if you keep your attention on the space, which is not a person, like the space, everyone knows it, please admit it. Everybody know it. It's too good to be true, they say. But it is too good. It is too good. Too much grace. that this is here. And but its secrets, its mystery, its beauty, we have not confirmed. We have discarded it because it's always here. Like it's always here. So you don't look there, you always look at what changes. Okay, and now we are doing this, followed by this, so we're going to do that. And here is one I made earlier. Oh, there's another one here. Always into the story, which another few minutes or hours you will not remember. We give so much energy to what you cannot remember. Isn't it funny? And the thing you cannot really forget, you ignore. What kind of being is that? The one place where you are unbrokenly happy, timeless, everlasting, hunting for some pleasure that will last 10 minutes, investing gallons of energy, crying buckets of tears about something that in a few hours you can't even remember. I have so many telephone calls in the past. Now I don't have a phone. Even mobile phone I don't carry. Maybe because in the days when I had a phone in my home in London, I often would come back and I would see little light flashing, red light, which means, somebody called. I pick up the phone, listen to people saying, "Oh, MOOJI, please, please, answer the phone. I'm dying." And then I'm half an hour late or 1 hour late, call them, and they're in the kitchen making carrot juice and enjoying themselves. And hi, is that? This is MOOJI. Oh, hey, MOOJI. Hey, how's it going? Half an hour ago, dying. Oh, I'm dying. So we make things up all the time. It's a big joke, big joke. And many people buy into it. Some people are suffering in your name, worried about you, while you're out there having a party and stuff, because you tell them, "Oh, I'm so in such bad state," and so on. None of it is true. And we don't admit it. So these things, I say, don't give so much attention to them. They're not. In fact, it is a form of maturity that you don't give attention to things, that you discern them quickly. That this is nothing. It's not worth remembering, actually. Or the other way, keep your attention on the place of seeing, the place of being, and don't give any person to it. And in a short time, it washes all this noise out. So many ways to be free. So many ways to be free. But nobody wants it.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I don't think I explained the right thing, but it doesn't matter. So when I look at the functioning of the awareness of how things appear, this is what I meant, but maybe it's not needed to be understood. But it is at the same time.
Okay, no, it's good enough. If you look at the you can say this is the functioning of awareness also in this present moment of perceiving.
And how I imagine myself in that, like either
Yes,
as this
okay.
body
How do you
or
imagine yourself in that at this moment?
in this moment.
Does it change?
It changed. This is what maybe I believe I'm this body, but at the same time I'm aware that I'm not the body. I am aware that I'm just this space that it's all happening in, but there's still a belief that I am this one standing talking to you right now. But it's just because I give it belief, but at the same time, and it doesn't cause any pain or any, there's nothing that seems to touch what I really know somehow here that I am, but still I put myself like this as if I'm so limited.
Yes. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
We love the drama. We're all the drama queen and somehow. We love the drama, give a lot of attention to the drama, which doesn't stay, it's always changing. And the self, which is unchanging, well, doesn't make the headlines, basically. The way that you're presenting yourself at the moment, the next moment is changed again, isn't it? Why give it so much importance? It may even be acting out some play that you don't know what it's about even, isn't it? Sometimes you're somehow acting out something, you don't know what that's about. People say, what are you doing? And you start to make up things like, well, but you don't know. Does any of us on this planet know what we're doing here, by the way? I've got a job, mate, you know. I'm important to the cosmos, you know. Why are you crying?
I don't know.
Yeah, this is okay. See, if you don't know, it's okay. In my world, in the world, people want to know. If you cry, it must be for a reason. If you laugh, it must be for a reason. If you sit down, it must be for a reason. But it's okay with you, isn't it? All of that. It's okay with me too. She's so great, this one actually. She's totally just, you understand? But look at her at the moment. Still great, still great.
I don't want to give my mind a job, but I need to hear something. I should just keep quiet now, no? Or the inquiry is still important in this moment, like it feels like it just keeps coming to look and inquire. And but I don't know if this is
not mechanically.
Not mechanically,
not
really
mechanically.
looking and not looking here. I see like this looking from where I can't look, but to inquire, or is even the arising of the inquiry something to distract myself?
Not if you're doing it properly.
Okay, good.
Do you ever look in the mirror and see someone else's face? In the same way, when you look in the mirror of inquiry, you see only your face. You look in the mirror and you see Freddy Krueger. Oh my God. Have you ever seen? No. You only see your face. When you look in the mirror of inquiry, it shows you your face, that's all. You're not going to see something. Within that, somehow, something is always changing. And be comfortable with that which is always changing. Just don't need to identify. It's healthy. I remember in the days we were talking recently, in the days when I was selling incense on the street, in Brixton in London. I had a little stall on Electric Avenue. Electric Avenue is the first road that received electric light, I think, in the whole of London. And now it's just Afro-Caribbean town, basically. We're selling incense, and in the market, full of vegetables and everything is happening. Full market. One day, I saw one crew, Japanese television. It's all Japanese people, and one kind of Jamaican guy walking with them, coming up. And it was clear that they were doing some kind of thing, a little feature about the markets, and he's showing them the different foods and the different things and so on. So they're coming up, and I know inside they're gonna stop at my stall. Because it's colorful. Here's one guy that, for every reason, looks like a Rasta man, selling incense and Indian things, and what's the story? So okay, so they're coming. I said, So, of course, they come to my stand and say, hey, what's happening here? I say, yeah, just selling incense. Incense, it's really good. And you live in Brixton? Yes, I live in Brixton. How do you find living in Brixton? Great. How long you been here? Many years. And have you seen much changes in Brixton? Yes, lots of change. Okay, stop. Let's take. Can we record now? I said, I thought you were recording. No, record. So again, okay. Hello, hey, what's your name? So, same questions. Have you been, so, how long you been living in London? Some good while now. And okay, and have you seen many changes? Well, not so much. Stop. Stop. That's not what you said before. You said you saw a lot of changes. Okay. Anyway, and again, we're talking, and they say that Brixton is very much a big drug place and stuff. And how do people feel about that? It's not such a drug place. We have been brought up here. Okay, take. Okay, go on. 3, 2, 1, take. Yeah. So, can you say that Brixton is a very druggy place and stuff? What, here? No drugs about here. It used to be in the past and things. Now people, all different crowd. No, hang on a second. That's not what you said last time. So actually, after about 4 takes, I was getting fed up. They're getting fed up as well. So, and I said, listen, I am not an actor, Every time you speak to me, I tell you the truth. I speak the truth. But if you tell to me in 10 seconds, I might put another version of it. I can't just repeat. You see, and not intentionally also, just different things are coming out. You see? But maybe a Japanese crew not used to, I said, I can't do. I have to take a script. Your being is like this. And then we are putting so much importance on every little thing you say. Even the way of expressing the truth is so flexible that it can seem as though, but you're contradicting yourself. So you do have to be inwardly free in order to grasp the real essence of what is being pointed to. But it's not merely in the words. You see? Don't give so much importance to words, concepts, beliefs. You have to go beyond all of this. You can do now also you can do. Just by attitude you do it. Stop everything. Quick change. Drop everything. You can do it. We don't have to take 5 months, 1 year. All of this is just made up. You can do it. 3, 2, 1. You can drop everything. We can do this. And examine what remains. What remains. First, that it can be done. It's very much a selective process now. You can just cut away from identifying with anything. And this is very important to our health, to be able to come back to ground zero. To drop everything, be completely neutral, empty. And check in with yourself. See, what is here now? Am I dead? Are you dead? Are you missing something? Is something missing? You come to a state of depression? Do you feel lost? You should be able to do this, to just drop everything and look. If everything can be dropped, what remains that cannot be dropped? do this enough times and it will become very natural for you to have a very clear mind, very clear mind, very open, peaceful. Get used to the sense or the feeling of emptiness. Because the way that the mind or culture, the conditioned mind, perceive emptiness is like basically you're dull, you have nothing to offer, you have dropped out. These are the stereotypes, these are the taboos that will come in front of you. But the truth is, when you're empty of intention and attachments, then a spontaneity comes into play. And this spontaneity is arising from the very depth of being. And you'll have the impression, I know absolutely nothing at all. And yet, something is responding to life in the most intelligent and sensitive way. Now, I say these things to you. I don't say, look, you practice and after 6 months give me some report. I can tell you that after 2 hours, come and tell me what happened, if you stick with it like this. Because the fruits are immediate. Your observations, immediate. Even to say drop everything. And you find you can. There may be some thoughts that seem very sticky, they don't want to go. That's okay. They don't want to go, but you're not investing any energy in them. It's the same as leaving them. And if you feel, I can't do this continuously because I'm taking a lot of energy, which it can feel like that for a while, then do it in short bursts. Do it 15 minutes at a time. Don't identify with anything, drop everything and move around in this emptiness. And then the mind comes back and then again do it for 15 minutes again and see what happens. It's one of the best training, the best exercise and enjoyable. Everybody can do it. It belongs to no religion particularly. Everyone would benefit from it. Because it softens the feeling of categories. Many times we categorize our existence. I am this type of person. Do you know the tax emotionally, psychologically on categorizing yourself? Do you know the weight, the restrictiveness, the claustrophobia when you define who you are? Because to define is to confine, is to limit. And yet it is not necessary, not needed for life. Okay, you can say if our society demands certain kind of information and you have to somehow give it to them, but it's only superficial. It's nothing deep. You see, the government cannot afford to be deep with you. It's a waste of time. You be deep with you. Nobody in life wants to be deep with you. Or they may say they do, but after a little bit they give up because they have not yet started to be deep with themselves. And what is this depth? Turning your attention inside. formless, to discover our formlessness. And yet, when we identify with the form, not that the form is wrong, but when we limit identity to the form, we suffer. Life teaches you the form is always changing. This form is always changing. This was not the body you were born with. This was not the body from last year. Everything is changing, moving. Which body was your true body? Does the body know its identity? If you are not conscious, would your body be looking for you? Does it know its name? These things may feel a little bit challenging if you're listening to them for the first time, and yet, paradoxically, they are your signpost to freedom. Your pointer. We're good.
Thank you, always, thank you.
Okay, good. One more and then we can do. Okay. Okay, let's see.
Hello, Guruji. Can I ask somebody to help with Russian translation, Guruji?
Russian translation.
Please.
Okay. There you go.
Я после ретрита в августе уехал домой в середине сентября.
In the middle of September, after the retreat in August, I left and I went home.
И следовал твоим инструкциям, как можно из этого состояния работать и жить.
And I was following your guidance and how it was possible to leave from this space and to work from this space.
И 3 дня тому назад я понял, что даже если следовать тому, что ты мне показал, работа, бизнес, она какая-то бесполезная.
And 3 days ago,
3 дня тому назад
3
я
days ago, I
понял,
understood
что даже если следовать всем твоим инструкциям
that even if I follow all your pointings
и работать, заниматься бизнесом,
and work and do my business,
это все как-то бессмысленно.
it's pointless. Usually.
What is pointless?
Бизнес, работа.
Work, business, everything.
It's pointless.
Yes, useless and has
Бессмысленно.
no sense.
No
Senseless.
sense. Потому что, получается, я свое внимание, энергию трачу не туда, использую не туда.
It means I lose my energy. I put my attention not to the things that are really meaningful.
Okay, so you enjoy work or no?
Тебе нравится твоя
You
работа?
were enjoying your work or not?
Раньше да, сейчас уже нет.
Before I enjoyed, and now not.
Okay, and so you gave everything up?
Да.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So, and you have enough to support yourself at the moment?
У тебя достаточно средств, чтобы сейчас поддерживать себя
Да.
жизнь? Yes.
Я бизнес полностью вообще передал, оставил его.
Yeah, he left his business and gave it to somebody else.
И купил билеты в одну сторону.
And I bought my tickets one way tickets.
To where?
Куда?
Домой.
Home.
Home.
Я...
It's very good, huh? It's very good.
Я не смог больше просто работать, потому что я понял, что это как будто бы я теряю жизнь куда-то.
I couldn't work anymore because it seemed that when I work, I lose my life. It is spent somewhere.
Yes.
3 дня назад, когда я увидел, что будет сатсанг сегодня,
3 days ago, when I found out that there will be a satsang today,
я был в Украине 1000 километров от своего дома.
I was still in Ukraine, very far away from here.
Да, и пока мы с моей любимой подругой ехали в машине ко мне домой,
And we were traveling with my friend, with my girlfriend,
Yeah.
home.
Yeah, where is she?
she not have a visa yet, but мы сдали все документы
We gave all the documents for the visa
вместе с ней,
together with her, but she doesn't have
и
yet.
у нее должны быть вот на следующей неделе документы.
And next week she's going to have. She
Okay.
must have.
И я просто понял, что когда мы ехали домой, что если жизнь создал Бог,
I just understood while we were traveling home that if life was created by God,
смерть была тоже создана Богом.
death is also created by God.
Для того, чтобы люди поняли, что надо быстрее прийти домой.
For people to understand faster that they have to go home more quickly, faster.
Very good. Very good. Спасибо. Very good.
Спасибо.
Very good.
I open.
Yes, yes. You have to be open to do that. You have to be open to do that. And I must encourage when I meet someone like that. It's not for everyone to move like that. We're not advertising to people to do this. But if you have that courage, that fire in you, yes, I will not block it, because that fire was in me also, and is in fact. That if you feel something so totally, then go totally for it. Go totally for it. Because half makes half.
Да, раньше до ретрита я торговался сам с собой.
Before the retreat, I was bargaining with myself.
Может быть, сначала поработать, денег заработать, или
Maybe first I earn money and work.
может быть, сначала я там музыку напишу и стану известным. Я умею писать музыку.
Maybe first I compose some music or something, do something good.
И потом все оставлю и приду в
And
свободу.
only then I will leave everything and come.
Yes. Make sure your parachute is in place.
Но я счастлив, что милость Твоя, милость Бога сделала так, что когда я вернулся домой,
But I'm happy that grace made it so that when I came back home,
оно перестало быть интересным.
I lost the interest. It was not interesting anymore.
Yes, I know this one.
Я за 2 дня купил билеты, оставил работу и прилетел.
And in 2 days, I left my job and bought tickets and came here.
Very good. Oh, thank you. Very good. Okay. You want to say something? Yes.
Actually, I all the time I felt to come,
Yeah.
but but probably this is my fear that stopped me. But Grace arranged this for me to not be fearful anymore. And the fear is one thing, but I'm not so much concerned with it, and I don't want to ask about it because I feel I just have to let go. It's nothing. And but what is happening a lot for me these days is many things with the body, as I told you already, and I feel completely that this is just a distraction, although it feels very, very real. Many things and headaches and something like, if I felt it before, I would definitely go to many doctors, and but now I see, because it doesn't appear in certain moments. I feel this clarity is when I'm not identified with the body at all. It's not there. All these sensations are not there, and it's so clear. But it's like it comes back, it shrinks to the form, and this identity with the body is there, and it seems that it's very strong, but it seems that it's more and more painful to look only from the body, as the body.
It is your good fortune. Sometimes things are left up to your decision making. Sometimes you have some enforced surrender, you know. That if you have to do everything, when I'm ready, I give. When I'm ready, I give. Sometimes, you know, yeah, the life sets fire to your pants and you have to run. Blazing, you see. So it's good that it's not always on our terms. And the grace pushes it in such a way that every time you look towards your body things, in this kind of way, then all this pain is there, all this thing is there. When you're in just the space of the true, then it is not troubling you. And that, I think it's a big aid, very big support when it comes like that. For a while it feels unbearable, but because in some way it's pushing towards a new state, you see, so it has to push out some of this lethargic, this false lethargic energy. You're onto it because you said yourself, no, that it's not true. It is not a true tiredness. You see, it's some kind of mental, psychological state. So, you know, yeah, it is fine. It is fine. It is fine for a while. It will be like this, and then when you are tired enough of it, and then something will just be burped out. When you're tired enough of it, sometimes it takes a long time to let something go. Keep picking it up again. You throw it in the bin, you know. You know, you make things. Oh, this is my last cigarette. You crush up the packet and throw it in the bin. Good. Feels good. You go to bed. Then you get up in the night to go back to the bins. Not quite ready. Still a little bit. Then eventually we try out lots of little things. Then for some people it's like this. For others, chop, finish. Just some have it like that. But nobody have it like that all the time. You see, it's a good mix. So I think it's good. It's such a powerful way when you mature like that. You see, through a lot of pain and struggle, and then eventually something is thrown out. Then it's finished. Good. Very good. Very good. It's strong. It's strong. Come then. So it's coming here. That's good. All right. Good.
The fear is strong, and I want to overcome this fear. Since August that I make this silent retreat via internet, I have this question or this doubt, and I see that this doubt don't serve me in a way to go deeper. When you say disregard the problem,
This what?
Disregard.
Disregard. Yeah.
Don't give attention, or sometimes it's just easy to do it, and after I think the mind just come again and say that I don't take responsibility on what I want, or
Who is it speaking to? Who is the mind speaking to? Is it speaking to the self, to the pure self? Or is it speaking to your present identity, the idea you have of who you are? It is speaking to the identity, your personal identity. Because why it speaks like that? To create guilt. Some guilt is there, you see. You know? And where there's guilt is something inside. And the mind catch me every time. I'm guilty. Because if you are faithful to your identity, this guilt will bite you, see. I'm not being responsible. And so what happened is that you abandon your inquiry and go in the corner bleeding from your guilt. That's how you get distracted from it, you see. But as soon as you realize, and this is the big step that I'm encouraging you to take, and that step is not only a step of courage, it is a step of wisdom actually, to look and to see, you know, this is speaking to myself as a person who is, you know, yes, you are being irresponsible. But if you stood in the position of consciousness, which is really what you are, much more so than the person, then those words would not have that power. Can we hear? Because we are coming to a close, you and you after. If you listened as consciousness, or if you listen as person, big difference. When you listen as a person, it's likely that you'll feel guilty, unworthy, something that is personal is going to bite you, you see. This is what happened, and everybody's jumping because there's something, they feel attacked. They feel somehow, yes, I can't. The mind, the psychological attack, just took away, you know, your power and put you back again in this person and not being responsible. Nothing. So it's worked in the past. It's worked in the past. When you were hit by the irresponsibility button, whoa, and you try again. You try irresponsibility. You're not being responsible. Oh, it got you again, Miss Person.
And
everybody is suffering from person poison. And this is it comes in this label. Something feels guilty, it catches you on this guilty. And as long as you continue to hold on to this notion of ourself as merely our conditioning, this person which is not stable, you will keep on getting tripped up. When you look from consciousness, which few human beings on this planet are looking from the position of consciousness, which is really what we are. We are thinking that when you use the word consciousness, you're being spiritual. You're just being yourself. It can be proven that you're consciousness, you see. Consciousness with limitation, you call a person. Consciousness without limitation, you call presence, or the beingness, or consciousness. So something from the past, something from your psychological and personality makeup is easy to catch with these things, and they will frustrate you and distract you from your course, your sadhana, your practice. They will catch you like that. If you cannot get out of the feeling person, then at least understand that you are the consciousness plus the person. But don't just think you are the person. You're the consciousness. When you see from the place of consciousness, is much more space, and words are just more words that don't have the power. Words are really for persons. All these dictionaries and meanings are for people, not so much for consciousness. The language of consciousness is presence, peace, love, openness, joy, spaciousness. With that, you can go anywhere in the world and you'll be fine. The language of the person is when you leave from here. If you go somewhere else, you don't speak this language, you're in trouble. So many languages, so many languages. Huh? So many. You told me yesterday how many languages they speak in China. How many?
I said many. There's 56
different races in China and as many languages in one country, plus the other countries. Can you speak with the old world? But if you are presence, if you have love in your heart and peace and joy and a universal attitude of brotherhood or beingness, you can converse with anyone. You will do fine. Without this, you better take some voice translator or something like this. When you are in presence, people they are drawn to you. You're like a light. They want to know if they can help you. They don't even plan this. They just feel it.
Is it the same, this feeling of not being responsible or feeling to being not truthful? Like if I disregard and something happens inside that I don't like,
you
I will
cannot
not
disregard. You cannot totally disregard while regarding your person.
Can you repeat?
You cannot totally disregard anything else that the person is connected to and still remain a person. The person is the factory for this noise. So you can try to disregard, but you keep the person who very much regard. You see, you cannot get rid of it like that. You must start with yourself. This is why satsang help you. It doesn't start with the problem. It starts with you. When you recognize what you are, your problem will go. But we are used to starting with the problem and not looking who you are. So you solve one problem, you think, thank you, another one waiting to come. But if you understood who you are, problems are seen to be it's just your way of looking. And you can change this. And that's why I say, it's a distraction. It becomes a distraction. You're putting your energy towards the problem, which is how can I get rid of this guilt? How can I get rid of this thing? And if I said you have to get rid of you, oh my God, no. So I can't put it in those terms because people misunderstand what it means. Ego has to go. He can go quicker than he grow. You understand? It may take quite a long time to grow the ego, but in a short time, you can chop him. But you need a good axeman. Chop him. Yeah, very good. Okay.
Thank you so much, Guruji.
Thank you.
Guruji, I have the sense that you give me this beautiful name, and somehow in that it just became so clear that I am without name somehow. And the seeing has just been opening and expanding, and this thing comes, and I feel like it's this that somehow keeps me coming back breath after breath, and
just want to bring it to you now. And it's this man thing, no? Like one just pops up right at the moment of the seeing, and it's so beautiful and so enchanting. But there was one 3 weeks before that, and one before that too. This cannot be true.
No, they are pop-ups.
Only a distraction.
They are pop-ups. Whatever it is that is your weakness, this will come. This will come at that point as a temptation. In the same way that it said Jesus was led out, Christ was led out into the wilderness after his baptism. The most beautiful baptism, John the Baptist. Dove lands on the head, voice from heaven, this is my son in whom I'm very pleased. Listen to him. Okay? After all this, desert alone, cold, hungry, like this, tired. No? Then Beelzebub. Where did he come from, Beelzebub? Does he live in the wilderness? No. Wherever you are, you will come there. And what happened? It says the temptation of Christ. You cannot be tempted unless you are temptable. Isn't it? If somebody came and was wanting to tempt you with, a good deal, a box of second-hand underwears, Calvin Klein, no less. You interested? Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I have to try another example. I don't know, but I thought that was a pretty good one to say. Of course not. Not interested. Okay? You have to be tempted with something that somehow make you touch your chin. Okay? So then you're tempted like this. Why they always come at the greatest insight, the greatest resistance, the greatest destruction. See? I remember in India, in Tiruvannamalai, one girl, she was in satsang and she was desperate. And then some awakening happened for her. Like this. 2 days later, she vanished. Nobody knew what happened. Then I kept asking, where's this girl? I want to see her. The one with the red hair. Where is she? So, then I heard. They saw her up the mountain, up in Mount Arunachala. Okay. Then after I asked for her, somebody must have found her, tell him, Guruji is searching for you. Then she came to see me, and I said, what's happened? I haven't seen you. I want to talk to you. She says, Guruji, amazing. See, I went up the mountain, and I met another guru. He is very handsome, very nice. You see? And he's just like you, Guruji. He's just like you. And, I've fallen in love. I'm living with him now. I said, how did God so kind to give you 2 gurus? Because suddenly she's kind of a bit lost, didn't know what to do and so on. I said, no. You have that in you. That propensity is in you. Something is there. And then in this moment, something comes to take your attention to something, to dilute it, to distract you. And it comes in the way that is difficult to discern. Yeah? It didn't come as a beautiful parrot or something. It came, another guru. Very good. You see? Why? And I say like this, none of this would have been possible, all of this life, if it wasn't that the mind is capable of imitating the beingness. The mind is capable of simulating or imitating the beingness. That's how the game is played, so that you have to discern, is this true or untrue? Is it true or untrue? So many things resemble each other, but they're not the same. You see? And the same way, sometimes if you have a weakness, in your case you say a romantic relationship or something like that.
I don't even want a relationship.
Huh?
I don't even want a relationship. It just somehow gets
Someplace inside, maybe behind the belly button or something, someplace is hidden this desire has come. You see? And come. Because if you really don't, and one showed up, you wouldn't even notice. Isn't it? You would not even notice. Says, hello, hi, yes, what you want? I think you want to go and see Guruji, don't you? Okay, go and see Guruji. I'll show you. But in your case, one minute chanting Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Yes, but I did not want. I did not want. I told the universe no. Then suddenly, then who is her? Is it? So something is playing a little game with you. Because if truly you did not want, you would not even notice. You say, oh, you came to collect the mail? Oh, it's not you? Okay. Could you wait outside, please? You say, please wait outside. Yeah, wait, right? You wouldn't be saying, would you like a cup of tea? No, it is.
Okay, maybe you got me, Guruji, on this one.
Maybe?
You got me. But Guruji, I'm not here for that.
I'm not here for that. But if it shows up, for many people, some form is coming. And I will tell you this now, that in the life, when consciousness is playing through the form of human being and personality and so on, this field is completely like a playground. So many things for the senses, so many things for the imagination, so many things to create, so many things to play, and to have the sense of importance, and to be all of this. The space is so rich, so fertile, it seems, for egoic identity. So to come through this in some way is itself very commendable, because the senses will play for a while. Then after a while you come and see, okay, been there, done that, Some things, they linger, because around these things we dream. We have dreams, and we protect our dreams. Even if they feel unrealistic, we entertain them because we derive some kind of pleasure or something like that. It is not the easiest thing. So to come through this, because if we cannot resist earthly pleasures, how could you resist heavenly pleasures even? One has to be so clear what that is, and what you are. You have to so come to that, not with an intellectual conviction, but a thorough understanding that amounts to this, that you and your being are same thing. You and the self is same thing. Not, I know what I am. No, you are what you are. And then this dream will somehow fade. This neediness for anything else. Because they're only distractions. They only become distractions. And their gold turn very quickly into dust. I'm not talking about relationships for everybody. Some relationships are beautiful. Some relationships are so beautiful that each of them play the guru to each other without intending to. Some relationships can flow with tremendous understanding and grace and power, but not many. Because while we have the notion of ourselves as persons, relationships, they help you to see where your cravings are, where your neediness is, where your attachments are, like that. But if you overcome them, those attachments, they can flow into something very beautiful. Why not? You see? But many people, they just drown in them somehow. They drown in them. It's just habit. And this is why it is good to use to. Also, one great thing is to learn to appreciate what you do have and what you don't have. It is good to appreciate what you do have and what you don't have. You see, it's very good. Because only on hindsight we seem to appreciate our life. It is good to appreciate in its nowness also. Your health, that you have time, that you're not so responsible to someone else's opinion or to feelings. And use this time well, so that in that time when it comes that perhaps you are in a relationship, you can function standing on your own 2 feet as well, you see. And that your relationship doesn't become the front page of consciousness. Always you're having meetings to discuss your relationships. Oh my God, what a yawn. And that there's a peace in a good relationship. A good ground, but not over security is not so important. And neediness, all these things. So now you have the time, such a beautiful time to immerse yourself in your satsang. It's so beautiful, so beautiful, so beautiful, so beautiful, isn't it? Leave it to him to arrange your relationship and know the difference. Then you don't waste time kissing frogs. I'm not calling anybody particularly any frog, okay? But you understand, while you're waiting for the prince or princess. Don't be waiting. Waiting's not good. Don't even be willing to wait for freedom. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, good. Do we have some singing today? Somebody coming? Because we are going to have I think it's somebody else. I don't know. Is there already someone has been arranged to sing? Come. Who was arranged? But Sandra's girls was going to sing something too. No, what happened? Okay, come. Very good. Yes, this we can put off now. No, it's okay like this, yeah. There is okay. happened?
This is rise from within.
Okay, MOOJI Baba, I am drenched and saturated in your love, which has flowered inside my heart. Your love has brought me home to my true being. Your existence and presence is covered with God's name, Ram Nam, and your pointing removes all darkness and reveals the light and peace in all beings. When I hear your drumming, my consciousness begins to dance with joy and bliss. From before the beginning of this world, I belong to you. All interests other than you have disappeared, and I am one with you as you. The pull towards this phenomenal existence is no more, and my being is disappearing in you, and I am full of joy. Only you are vibrating in all the three universes, and you are also beyond. In the end, all journeying will be absorbed in you. When the I Am is seen, the attention naturally returns home as your bride, and now only emptiness remains. All love to you, beloved Gurudev. It is all your grace. Maheshwari, Haridas, and the whole Sangha. Very beautiful.
MOOJI Baba. Is it okay?
Yes, you know.
MOOJI Baba, तेरे प्रेम से रंग लिया चोला. MOOJI Baba, MOOJI Baba, तेरे प्रेम से रंग लिया चोला. Everyone can sing these lines, please, if you like. MOOJI Baba, MOOJI Baba, तेरे प्रेम से रंग लिया चोला. MOOJI Baba, MOOJI Baba, तेरे प्रेम से रंग लिया चोला. चोला, चोला. सहजा में तू फूल खिलाए, सहजा में तू फूल खिलाए. मन में प्रेम जगाए, मन में प्रेम जगाए. राम नाम की चादर ओढ़े, राम नाम की चादर ओढ़े. ज्योत से ज्योत मिलाए, ज्योत से ज्योत मिलाए. MOOJI Baba, MOOJI Baba, तेरे प्रेम से रंग लिया चोला. MOOJI Baba, MOOJI Baba, तेरे प्रेम से रंग लिया चोला. चोला, चोला. डमरू तेरी की धुन जो सुनी तो, डमरू तेरी की धुन जो सुनी तो, छम छम राधा नाचे, छम छम राधा जन्मों जन्मों से तुम मुझ में समाए, जन्मों जन्मों से तुम मुझ में समाए, और ना अब कोई भाए, और ना अब कोई भाए। मुझी बाबा, मुझी बाबा तेरे प्रेम से रंग लिया चोला। मुझी बाबा, मुझी बाबा तेरे प्रेम से रंग लिया चोला, चोला चोला। तीनों लोगों में है तेरा वासा, तीनों लोगों में है तेरा वासा। मैं तुझ में ही रम जाता, तुझ में ही रम जाता। सूरत सुहागन घर वापस आई, सूरत सुहागन घर वापस आई। शून्य समाधि छाई, शून्य समाधि छाई। मुझी बाबा, मुझी बाबा तेरे प्रेम से रंग लिया चोला। मुझी बाबा, मुझी बाबा तेरे प्रेम से रंग लिया चोला, चोला चोला। मुझी बाबा, मुझी बाबा तेरे प्रेम से रंग लिया चोला, चोला चोला चोला। हरि ओम।
Okay, so thank you. I believe we're going to take a break now for a little bit. You make an announcement about this? Come. No, you is it not?
It's on.
Everyone's welcome to come down to the area that's called Little Jamaica for some cookies and chai, and then we'll ring a bell when it's time to come back. In about 15 minutes. And what will happen then is Guruji will read some of the many letters that come to him, and we'll answer them. And we will also broadcast that live. Good.